Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Danielle Knox, and today we have a very special edition of the Balancing Act this morning. It's a parent-teacher corner like no other. So get ready and take note. It's almost going to be like you're in school again, but for a very good cause. 6 leaders from some of the most influential educational national associations, all members of Learning First Alliance, join us today from all across the country as we launch our 1-hour special, Designing the Dream School for the 21st Century. On this side, I have Dr. Dan Domenech, Executive Director of the American Association of School Administrators, Nancy Pellicino, President of the Association for Middle-Level Education, and Don Konieczek, CEO of the International Society for Technology in Education. And on this side, we have Ken Griffith, President of the Association for Secondary Principals, Dottie Coven, Chief Strategic Officer for Tech Innovations, and Rob Monson, President of the National Association for Elementary School Principals. And later on in the show, we'll hear from President of the PTA, Betsy Landers. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, here's some food for thought for you at home. American students rank 25th in math and 21st in science compared to students in 30 industrialized countries. Nearly 44% of dropouts under the age of 24 are jobless, and the unemployment rate of high school dropouts older than 25 is more than 3 times that of college graduates. And so, Ken, I want to start with you here with the first question. Why do you think American students are falling so far behind academically compared to other developing countries?
I guess I would begin by saying it's not as bad as it seems. When we strip away our poverty and our diversity and we compare like students to like students across the international population, we move up towards the top.
Interesting. I think that's a great point. Nancy, I also know the difficulties involved in middle school, because I know that middle school really is a critical time for students. You know, it's during these years that we see the highest percentage of dropouts. Why do you think this is, and what can we do to kind of prevent these staggering statistics?
Well, your middle school years are times of great changes in social, emotional, and developmental health in kids. And when they come to middle school, especially at the 6th grade level, if they're already a little bit behind in science, math, or English, some of their content areas, if we don't identify them quickly and get them the support that they need, then they fall farther behind.
It's interesting you say that, because I want to bring you in here now, Dan, because while some school districts are stepping it up, I think that there are a lot of others who are behind in terms of, you know, design and technology. And I read something that said that they're using technology from back in the 1950s. How is this affecting our national standards in general?
Well, I think that technology is the great equalizer. Technology is the enabler that can allow these school districts really to come up to the standards that we want. I mean, what we see now happening across the nation is this Common Core Standards movement, really to bring all 50 states together in terms of having the same set of standards. And when that happens, I think technology can realize the potential in terms of what all educators have always wanted. They have wanted to provide each child in the classroom with a personalized education.
I think that's a great point. When you think about the fact that my 4-year-old knows more about the computer than his mom, then you know that technology plays an important role in the school of the future. And I know, Dottie, that you are a technology expert in digital curriculum implementation across the board. I mean, there's no doubt that heavy textbooks are becoming a thing of the past. But how do you go about getting a school or a school district to switch from standard textbooks to innovative digital tools?
Well, I think first is educating them on what the options are. You've got to get them to understand that there are lots of resources out there for students to use, lots of things on the internet. It's getting them to do a paradigm shift. From, you know, when I was growing up, I loved to open that book. Even when I taught elementary school, opening the book and reading. But for kids these days, we have to understand that for them, picking up a digital copy and flipping through the pages on the digital device,
That's their book.
that is their book. So that's the first thing, is their education. The second thing is, once we understand what resources are available, then we have to have a tool for students to be able to access those digital resources.
All right, and so from one techie to another, I'm going to turn it over to Don now. I want to ask, you know, in my child's classroom, yes, every one of my children has a computer in his classroom, but how readily available are these technological education tools to help improve the standing of American schools? I mean, what type of technology are we talking about here, and how can each district then implement that technology to benefit their curriculums from K through 12?
Well, one thing that we see is a lot of options for the technology now that you have in school systems. We certainly have seen the laptops grow enormously in the one-to-one programs. But now we're looking at mobile technologies, and that includes tablets, but it also includes mobile intelligent phones, smartphones. And so we're seeing options now. And so more critically than ever, a district or a school needs to define what they want to gain from that technology, look at the technology options that are available. So we're back into that mode where there are multiple solutions.
You know, I joked a little bit about how my 4-year-old knows so much about the computer and the laptop and smartphones and all of this, but Rob, how early do you think these types of technology should be implemented in schools?
It's amazing when you see these 2- and 3-year-olds sitting there with some form of a tablet, interacting with that. You know, they're doing something on there that is more than likely educational, even if it's just moving blocks around, doing puzzles, those kind of things. That's incredible to see that. So they're growing up with that already. So they're entering our schools with that database of knowledge already in using these types of tools.
Well, a great conversation so far, and we are just getting started here this morning. We have the opportunity to succeed. And on today's Designing the Dream School for the 21st Century, you, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or simply a concerned citizen, you have a very unique opportunity to help your favorite district achieve this dream. Yes, you can vote for your school of choice to help pave the way for future dreams, together changing the face of education. And so starting today and throughout the month of June, we are giving away $250,000 to one lucky district, and we won't stop there. To learn more about this, simply go to our website, thebalancingAct.com/sweepstakes.